Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to the Grit Zone. My name is David, and today we're introducing the ForcedG.R.I.T bundle. Okay, and uh, it's one bundle, three blocks, endless possibilities. Um, we are here to talk to auto body technicians, auto body painters, like myself. I've been painting for over 20 years. I've been in the product and the body shop, working on cars since I've been 14. I worked with my dad a long, long time ago. So I've got a lot of experience dealing with different various cars and painting with different cars and dealing with different materials and understanding the life expectancy of a lot of the type of materials that we work with and use. Um, And we're here to talk to auto body technicians, painters, students, apprentice, shop owners, and DIY enthusiasts. Uh, and we're here to explain what the ForcedG.R.I.T bundle is and why it was created and how it can help technicians work smarter and not harder. It's there to make things a little bit more simple. Um, it helps in a lot of different ways, and we'll go over that in this presentation. Uh, and again, I want to welcome you to another one of our Grit Zone episodes, where we talk about tools, techniques, and ideas shaping the collision repair industry. This is the place where we all can just have a moment to just kind of talk and just relax a little bit and, just shoot some stuff. Just talk about, various things. We'll come along and do other products. We'll do other topics. If you just want to leave a question in the chat, and we can see if we can probably talk about that. But this is for you. This is for those who just have just basic questions. We won't have all the answers, but hey, you know what? Somebody probably a little bit more. That knows a lot more about what we're talking about may chime in and help us understand a lot of the things that's going on in the industry today. But today we want to talk about the product. And today's episode is all about the ForcedG.R.I.T bundle. Okay. If you ever wondered what it is or why we created it, or how it's different from a regular sanding block, you're in the right place. Whether you've been in the trade for 30 plus years, like me, or just starting out, today's conversation is for you. Okay. All right. Let's ask the number one question. What is ForcedG.R.I.T? Well, let's keep this simple. Think about driving a car. If your steering wheel is loose, it's harder to stay in your lane. Now, think about sanding. If your sanding block moves around too much, it's harder to keep your repair flat. That's where ForcedG.R.I.T comes in. Okay. Uh, it's a magnetic sanding block designed to give you more control while you sand. Simple as that. It's really, really, really simple. It's not complicated at all. Instead of fighting the block helps you stay consistent. That's all it does. So we got company. So let's see here. I can adjust this really quick. We are there. Okay. All right. And as we were saying, so what comes in the bundle? Okay. When people hear bundle, they usually think it's just a few extra items thrown together. Basically, That's not what it is all the time. Now, we got everything that you use in this packet, you'll be using it consistently, which eat with every repair, mostly with every repair. Um, let's see. And that's not always the case, but this is what we're presenting today. The ForcedG.R.I.T bundle was designed so you can have everything you need to get started. The bundle includes one small magnetic sanding block, one medium magnetic sanding block, one large. You see it right here. This is our small, our medium, and our large block. Okay. It also comes with hook and loop back pads. Okay, you get two for each block, so you'll get four because it'll have the hook and loop back pads, and it also had the adhesive form pads. Okay, all right. So you get four for each one. You want to get one that you can put on instantly, and the other one will be a backup. And these are lifetime warranty of the product. If you ever have an issue where you've used the backup pad and you want to, you just run out, you just send us an email, reach out to us, and we'll send these to you for free. Okay, that's a lifetime warranty that comes with the product. Again, you get the hook it and loop back pads. You got the adhesive paddings, and you have instructions to use. Now we also have, that comes with it, we have these templates. Okay, these templates are very important. Now what you do with these templates is this extends your ability to work on other panels. Okay, what we do basically is we'll take these templates and we'll use it on non-magnetic panels such as your plastic panels, bumpers, and sometimes a fender, just a Corvette or a BMW, probably the older model BMWs, and other vehicles. You can use these templates, and you slide these templates in the area behind the panel. You slide it back in like so, and you slide it in back here, and then you're able to work that area that's damaged. Because what these does is these gives you the magnetic stabilization that you need in order for the block to stay completely flat while you're sanding. Okay. Now these are very awesome to work with. You can use it on plastic, aluminum, and other various. And depending on the thickness of the panel, fiberglass not so much. Fiberglass is a little bit thicker. We're working on creating a different set of blocks to work specifically on fiberglass. They'll be a lot stronger, but it'll be something that's very adjustable. Okay, so let's move on here. Wanted to make sure we got everything. Okay, we got the pads, we got the templates, and of course the blocks, the small, medium, and large block. Okay, let me give you a close-up of one of the blocks because I want you to take a really good look at the dial. And we'll show this a little bit more. See that dial? Here we go. Yeah, that dial controls the grit power. Okay, you turn that dial, and that dial gives you either the ability to convert the sandpaper to operate in a more fine mode or a more aggressive mode. Okay, the first block of its kind to be able to use one grit paper multiple ways. And I think that's a pretty cool idea. We wanted to make sure that it had the ability to function properly where it can do more. So I thought that was something worth mentioning in the start. So once we start to see how this starts to work, I think I think you kind of get the idea. Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay. Let's move on. Okay. A small block is very good for door edges, body lines, small dents, and, tight areas. As we use um, this small block will really do really well when you got these curves, and it stays flush along with the curve. I know there's a lot of technicians, a lot of body men, and myself. I normally put a tape line there. And if I have to work an area, I'll put a tape line there, and then I'll work the panel. But I've noticed ever since I started using this block, I didn't need the tape line because it stayed so flat and flush. It's built to uh, uh, move with the contour of the panel. It's almost like it has memory. It's memorizing the panel as you cut. It wants to mimic the it's like when you're sanding the magnetic stabilization, it wants to stay the same. So when it's cutting through your material, it's it's memorizing the frequency, and it's staying the same when you're sanding. And it's a tool you just got to put in your hand and use. It's not always easy to explain every tool, but us in the automotive industry, we if it works in our hand, it's a good tool. You gotta work with it in order to have the full effect of it. And that's always the way it's been. Okay. All right, that's the small block. The medium block is great for fender repairs, quarter panels, and doors. The medium block, it does really well. Put this back in here. Your medium block, and I got the same block over here. It's a 6-inch block. Okay. This block, yeah, this block has a flat side, a completely flat side. Let me tilt this down a little bit. It has a completely flat flush side. I mean, it's 90-degree all the way, completely 90-degree. And the other side has a curve. So when you're going around those curves, it hugs it like a snow sled. It moves with the panel. Okay, that way, you're not running and grabbing your round block. It's already rounded. This works really well for that. That way, it does really well. Now, these, and again, it's good for fender repairs, quarter panels, and doors. Okay, right in those areas where you got to get the majority of the area, you want to get it sanded. And again, it stays completely flat and completely flush with the panel. It's cutting the panel for you. It's cutting the panel for you, and it does really well with that. All right. Okay. Yes. And so let's take it a little bit further. Our forest grid block, the large block. Large block is really good for hoods, roofs, truck beds, large flat panels because it covers so much more of the area. And it really works really, really well because it keeps the same consistency 100% of the time. And that's always good. Let's see here. Okay. And Okay, we're going to take a small break, and we will be right back with the rest of this presentation. Just give me just one moment. Thank you. Okay, all right, we are back. Small intermission there, but we want to come back and talk about our where we are here. Okay, we were talking about the large block, how it's great on hoods, roofs, and also truck beds. I've used it on hoods, roofs, truck beds. It does cover up the large area of the repair. And it's, the awesome thing is, and let's talk about this. Let's take a minute and talk about this. Um, the way this works on your flat panels stays flush, of course, because of the magnetic stabilization. Uh, what makes it different from your standard blocks, from your regular blocks. Now, this requires 100% you guiding, shaping, sanding, uh, your muscle, and your skill, and that's common. That's very, very common. Okay, what this new block does is it takes the responsibility of a couple of those things. Okay, what this does is it takes the responsibility of the pull force. Okay, instead of you pushing down and sanding, guiding and sanding. One thing you have to do, you have to guide it. This requires your guide. Now, as far as how much pressure is being used to remove the material, you get to adjust it. That's what this does. Okay. You don't have to, you, you know, it's not about you getting fatigued trying to cut all this material off. I've seen a lot of videos where, oh my gosh, it's a lot of cutting, and that can wear a lot. But with this particular product, you get to adjust how much material comes off while you're guiding the block. Okay, let's just take something away from the equation. Okay, something that you don't have to worry about. Okay, because this gives it. Here we go with when you turn it counterclockwise, it makes it stronger, so it cuts off more material. Okay, and when you turn it clockwise, now you get to cut it more fine. Instead of you cutting it with, okay, I got a 220, let me tear this 220 off, let me put a 500 on. Well, you got a 220. Let's say you wanted to respond like a 220, but you don't really want to use the 220 deep scratches. So what do? You put a 400 on here, okay? You put a 400 on here, you turn this dial all the way to number 1, which is the strongest strength, and it's going to cut like a 220. It's going to cut the material off like a 220 without the 220 scratches. And also it's going to keep it flat, flush against the panel. And the magnetic pull is designed to The magnetic pull is designed to keep it at a steady, even pace the entire time. So you're not adjusting it. You're not adjusting your strength. This is doing it for you. And then you start to understand, oh, this is how it's supposed to be done. This is how it should feel. Especially for those who are just beginning. It automatically teaches you proper pressure because technically your sandpaper is supposed to be doing all the cutting. That's why we changed to different grits. You're supposed to stay the same no matter what grit you use. You change the sandpaper, not your force. And what this does, this gives you the understanding right away. It gives you automatic, immediate feedback. The same pressure that you're doing with this is the same pressure you're doing with this. You follow me? You're using this, it's going to show you what the pressure and what the results should be immediately. When you're using this with a certain sandpaper, you have to regulate your sanding with your sandpaper. You use this and you regulate the pull force by just using a single sandpaper throughout that particular process. Like for instance, if you're cutting filler, you're cutting Bondo. If you're cutting Bondo filler, Bondo's old school, filler's the new school. You're going to use this to the type of paper that you'll probably use on this is anywhere between, you can use 180 or 220. That 180 is going to fluctuate your paper as you turn this dial. If you got a 180 and you turn this dial, okay, number 3 indicates the grit of the paper. You got 180, you put it on 3, that's your 180 cut. Okay, when you turn it counterclockwise, you turn that 180 to more like a 150. Then you turn it again to strengthen it because it's getting stronger. Now it's going to cut like a 140. Almost a 140, 130. Okay, all right. You're cutting like a 140 or a 130 without using 140, 120, 130 scratches. Okay. All right. You're not trying to get 120 and 130 scratches out. You're still getting the 180 scratches out. It's just cutting more off like a 140 or a 120, but it's literally a 180. Okay. And if you do it the other way around, okay, you turn it the other way. Remember, it's pressure. You're lightening the pressure. Okay, so when you turn it back the other way, it gets even lighter. You got a 180. And remember, this is controlling the pressure, not you. You're not controlling the pressure. You're not pushing down. It has its own pull force. Okay, now when you turn this clockwise to number 4 and it's a 180, now it's responding more like a 200. Because it's using the tip, it's using more of the tip of the grit. Okay, remember, you're not pushing down. You're operating, you're controlling the performance of the sandpaper at this point. We already do it because we're sanding and it's okay. Then we start lightening up. We're already doing it. We're doing it through skill, and we have to. I mean, that's the way our traditional blocks are set up. Okay. That's the way we have to do it. That's how we've been taught. That's how we went to school. We went to the trade schools, and and our fathers and our uncles and all of us. That's what they taught us. That's what my father taught me and my brothers. Okay, now lighten it up. You're cutting too fast. You're cutting too hard. All right, now change that paper and get another paper to cut out those scratches. Yeah, we're already doing it. This kind of combines that. Okay, so now that we are We got our 180, and we turn that 180, and we're lightening the performance of that 180 to respond more like a 200. You turn it some more, and now it responds more like a 240. All of this within your process. One paper. One paper. Now, what does that do, man? What does that mean? Oh, I mean, what? What does that do? Well, you get to finish your process in one movement. We all know in this business, time is money. Period. Period. And some of you may say, well, if you need this, you shouldn't be in repair work. I mean, that's the same thing they said when to the mechanics when they got the ratchet. Went from a wrench to a ratchet. And guess what? Everybody got a ratchet. Why? Because in this business, money, time is money. Period. That's it. So what I'm trying to say is basically we just made the process a little bit quicker for you so we can get some more tickets. Okay. When I implemented this process into my work habits, it elevated from doing 3 cars a day to 4 cars a day, and that's a big deal, especially when you're working 7 days a week. That's 7 extra cars, 7 extra cars a week. Makes a difference. These numbers really, really add up fast. Okay? And I didn't add any extra time to my day. I didn't have to stay until 6, 7 o'clock. I was able to get home and get to my family and made some extra money doing it. Okay. All right. That one little step, one little setup, it's not going to make or break anything, but it will add to your pocket. Okay. And plus, this when you're sanding with this particular product, the flatness is unreal because you're not introducing a brand new grit to your repair. Then you got to concentrate it all over again. You got one paper and you are going through that whole repair. And so your repair is customized with that one paper, that one grit that's doing it all. You change grit, now you got to introduce another product. And now it'll definitely make a pros, the pros will really don't need this. I mean, they have excellent tools. They have already refined their process. They have blocks, and there are some great blocks out there that does really, really good work. I've worked with them. I've used them. They're really good. If you get this, you probably definitely get a lot faster. I mean, you're gonna make more money quicker, but it doesn't take away from you. If you add this to whatever you're doing, it just advances your already given talent. If you thought you couldn't get better, yeah, it will step up your game quick because you already have all the experience. I know I have great experience with working on cars, and I thought, okay, well, I've hit my climax. And I was like, once I got this, I was like, boy, wow. Okay, I thought I was good. Now, yeah, there's another level. Now, if you are a beginner, well, let me explain what a beginner can do with this. I mean, automatically instant feedback on how pressure works. Okay? You instantly see how pressure works. The proper pressure when you're sanding a vehicle. All right? When you are sanding and you adjust, oh, that's what it looks like. And you adjust again. Oh, that's what it looks like. You are not replying. You're not um, trying to, I guess, what's the word for it? You're not trying to apply uh, your pressure that changes from day to day to day. You know, you're not going to have the same energy 8 o'clock in the morning that you're going to have 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You'll try, and some days you do well. This pressure never changes. It can be 8 a.m. in the morning, or it can be 11 p.m. at night. You're going to get the same pressure, the same results. And what that does, your regular sanding block, your traditional sanding block, okay? All right, looks like I am disconnected, maybe. They're trying to reconnect me. All right, here we go. All right, sorry about that, folks. Looked like I got disconnected for a minute, but I am back. Okay, as I was talking about the pros versus the beginners. How does this benefit either one of you? Okay, I said the pros will elevate even higher. You're, they got the experience. It's gonna explode. Beginners, it's a good start. Very good start. When you can go from damage to Bondo to sending it to the painter, or you're a prep guy and you're prepping a car and you find highs and lows immediately, that's a game changer for you. Now that painter's waiting on that car, and that painter, hey, he knows you're out there and you got your check block. This block is going to check all your highs and lows immediately because it stays so flat and stays flush. And it has a control dial. And you and the painter can set this dial to be permanent. All right. We always use 600 on dial setting number 3. First block that will set your, will set the, well, I will say, it will set the temperature in the room. Okay. Now, when you set this dial and it's permanent, we can always go back and check, okay, what was your settings? Because looks like we cut too much off. What were your settings? And what this does is this gives your apprentice or the guy that just started, it gives them a guide. Finally, a guide, actually. It helps. Everybody can stay on the same page. Everybody will know, hey, yeah, your block was set too high. Or your block was set too low. What paper did you use? Now you can ask these questions and get the same results. Okay? That's what that does. That's what I do every day. I do that every day. It's like I know what my settings are, and I know what type of results I'm going to get every time I use a particular setting. Okay? All right. We invented this with all this in mind. We thought about all of this. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we talked about the small block. We talked about the medium block. We talked about the big block. Now, let's have a conversation about the tinplate system. Yeah. Here's one of the questions we get all the time. Can I use it on plastic or aluminum? Sometimes that's kind of like a sarcastic thing they say. Because it's magnets. So it's like a little inside joke, which is, I get it, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But actually, yes. I finally had the opportunity to say yes. I say maybe about 6 months ago. I always knew. I just, you always got to hold on to some things before you need to let it go. So now let's talk about the tinplate system. Now this tinplate system, just bear with me. This template system, these templates, all right, you get these with your packet. All right, now if you want more, they're already in the body shops. You know, you go to your painter, he's doing test panels all day long. And more than likely he's got the metal ones. I love these because they are flexible. Now, granted, we thought about this whole process and everything revolves around the body shop experience, the body and paint shop experience from start to finish, from you using your little old faithful that sits in the toolbox and never gets used. Now, it's probably will be your number one little tool that you'll be pulling from your box every single time, okay? To the templates that are in the paint department, okay? All right, you'll get these so you can automatically start using, all right? But yeah, you get as many of these as you can. Now, the more you put together, the stronger the pull. We'll have enough inside your packet, inside your bundle, where you can get started. But I would say, you know, they're out there. You know, you can use some more. You can always use an extra, you know. And a lot of times I'll cut them in half to get into those smaller areas that are like right in here or down below that are in this little curve down here. So when I'm using my block on a plastic bumper or a plastic fender or an aluminum door, which we do have one of those, and we'll do a special aluminum repair session. I mean, it's the same as metal, but it includes these, so it's important that we do a demo for you. Now you just take these and you put it behind the panel, like so. I'll take this down. You take them and you position them behind the panel. You can tape it to the panel. You can glue stud it to the panel. You know, depends on what you have. I normally just tape it. I put some tape on it and we'll tape it to the panel. And once you tape it on there, your block will automatically stick to it. Okay, because it has magnetic pull. Because it has magnetic pull now, it stabilizes and it works just as great. And now you're right back into your rhythm again. You just keep going. You know, you do the turn your dial, you do the sand, and you know, it'll do just fine. I do a lot of bumpers with it because I like, even though bumpers are easy to repair, I still like the flatness. It does it so quickly. Because if you know when you're cutting into a bumper and it starts to heat up, and you know, so your plastic starts to move a little bit because you're pushing down and you're causing friction. And when you're pushing down and you're causing friction on that plastic starts releasing. Hey, what you doing up here? All right, well, everybody meet Patches. Patches meet everybody. That's my auto body paint cat. You just want to check everybody out and see what everybody's doing. But no, you can't be up here today because you like to sit on the keyboard. Yeah, he's a big boy. He's my little Mufasa. You'll probably be back here again before it's all over with because he wants to see who I'm talking to. But as I was saying, we were discussing the templates, okay, and plastic bumpers. Yeah. And a lot of times when we're cutting that plastic, it heats up, so it kind of swells a little bit from the heat, from the friction. Well, I use this, and I'm not pushing down because it has an automatic attraction. So I can kind of set the dial to how much pull force I want to use, how much material I want to move. And it works really well. I don't have to use it on plastic because I think plastic repairs are pretty easy. But if you want consistency throughout your entire repair process, this gives that to you. This plus this. See, I've got a couple of them I don't need. And it sticks just fine. You just stick that behind the panel and you can rock and roll, keep going nonstop. no slowing down here. Okay. All right. Okay. Again, for those who may be catching this, my name is David. I am your host of the Grit Zones. We try to be here every Thursday night. I'm running a little bit late tonight because normally I start at 7:30. We kind of started at 8:30. So, and we got about 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes, and uh, we'll be almost finished. Okay. All right. So we talked about how does the template store system work, and we just went over that. Um, Really good product. I love the template system. It kind of gave us a catapult into other areas such as aluminum and also plastic repairs. All right. Okay. Now, how is this different from, I would say, how is it different from a regular sanding block? Well, we got a couple differences. A regular sanding block does one thing. It holds the sandpaper. Okay. You do everything else. You curving, you sanding, you're applying the pressure, you're mapping out all the dimensions of how that panel is supposed to come back into play. And that's how we've been trained. That's part of the automotive experience. No hands but, and you still have to do that. Okay. But what's the difference between a regular standing block and our block? Well, ForcedG.R.I.T was designed to do more. Okay, it do more for you. All right. It's just designed to do more. And that more is, it's about improving control. Okay. It wants to stay flat 100% of the time. It loves it. It doesn't want to do anything else but stay flat. And that's what we're always trying to do. We're trying to make our panels flat. So the block wants to stay flat for you. And it's going to do that. And it's not going to take a day off, ever. Okay, because those magnets are permanent. They do not stop being a magnet, ever. All right. So it helps technicians stay consistent. It's going to continue to do what it's doing over and over and over and over and over again. It's not going to change script. It's not going to take it. It's not going to take a coffee break. You can take your coffee breaks, and you'll be taking a lot more coffee breaks. Okay, when you got this product, because it's always ready to go when you're ready to go, and it's going to do the same thing every time. It's not going to deviate. The things that it does, it will always continue to do it. All right, you may want it to do something else, but it's going to pry you back into what it's designed to do. Okay, so it makes it easier to keep a repair flat, and I want to talk about that. Okay, when the block is sanding, it starts off wanting to be flat. I know I've been saying that a couple times now, but with your regular block, it requires you to figure out the flatness on that panel, and that's fine. That's just the way we've been taught with the system. But with the ForcedG.R.I.T, it grabs the panel, and whatever is underneath it, it wants to remove it so it can move consistently. So if there's a high, it wants to get that high out of the way so it can feel consistent. A bump, it doesn't go after lows. And when I say that, it brings the panel down to the lows instead of digging into the lows along with trying to make it flat. Like this kind of flexes and it kind of digs into the lows while you're sanding. That's why it's really hard to get your lows out because you're applying too much pressure and you don't have a pressure gauge and so you end up re-wiping because I feel something right there. Let me get some more wipe and you wipe it again. You're not wiping again with this unless you just did not put enough Bondo on or filler the first time. Okay. When this starts to sand, it's like it'll sand off the peak. It'll sand off the peak and then it'll keep sanding and it'll keep sanding off the peak until everything is flat and land. It's flat. And it sands down, it sands the highs down to the low area. And hopefully there's enough material that you put on there to where the low becomes flat along with everything else. A lot of times when I'm doing my repairs, and I've done a couple videos where I've shown where I'm done sanding in a few minutes because it's working extra while I'm sanding. It's memorizing the panel through the magnetic stabilization. It's memorizing the contour. Everything's even. The magnetic pole is the same throughout the entire experience. So it's going to mimic the same pole throughout the entire experience. That's what it does. So one day we'll be able to get in some more depth into that, because I think that's going to be a very, very interesting conversation to have, to understand the physics. Okay, we literally brought math and physics into this equation. This is more of a science project than a sanding block. Because if you understand physics, and pull, and it has its own climate, not climate, but it has its own gravity pull, as I say. It has its own gravity pull. It's like the panel is its own entity and it has a gravitational pull, is what I'm trying to say. So once you start to understand that, then you can adjust it with the dial. You can adjust the gravitational pull with the dial. Then you have something that you can work with and try to understand. And once you understand the process, you can tackle any repair. And this is great for beginners. I mean, it's great for beginners. I mean, I know it takes a while to understand how to sand. I get it. I've been there. It took me years. I didn't have this. It wouldn't have took me years. Because you just understand pressure. You start to understand pressure at that point. And to see the results is pretty interesting. Okay. And we talked about how it makes it easier to keep a repair flat. It's not magic by any means at all. It doesn't replace skill. You still got to learn how. It's like being in a pottery class. You got to learn how to make the pot. It's just skill. It doesn't replace skill. You have to get in there and you have to understand how it works, how regular traditional sanding works. Okay, because that's very important. Don't skip that class. So you can have problems. You get to think of it like using a level when building a wall. Okay, I mean that's skill too. I'll get a level and I still don't know what I'm doing. It's supposed to, help you, but there's adjusting, there's there's a whole lot more that goes to it. And that's a carpentry skill. It's very important that you understand the skill side of things. It helps you build it straighter. Okay, it helps you understand what it takes for it to be straight. Okay, and a lot of times this product isn't going to be the product that gets the panel straight because skills involved. Sometimes you're going to have to walk away from this and grab this. You're going to have to come back to this. Very important that you understand the skill of a block. Okay? You're not going to be able to use this all the time. It's just not going to happen. I still have to go to this sometimes. Sometimes. But 80% of the time I'm using this. Yeah. 3 times faster. This guy's got a lot of speed to it. Okay. All right. And that's the idea behind ForcedG.R.I.T. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's talk about who's it for. Okay. This bundle isn't just for experienced technicians. It's also great for students learning collision repair, apprentices, mobile repair technicians, restoration shops. Oh, restoration shops. Man. Whew. This can save y'all a lot of primer. I know I've seen the clips, and I get it. That's part of it. I get it. But I think this would probably this might interest you. I mean, restoration, it's primarily all steel. Okay. There's rarely any aluminum cars when you're doing restoration work, unless you get this old Corvette, and you have to buy out stronger blocks for that. With the Tinplate system, but restoration, ultra fine is what this does. Ultra fine. I know you. Ultra fine repairs instantly. And I think I'm gonna do a whole car with this one day, and it's gonna be live, and I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it. I can't wait. I'm very excited about that. We're trying to find an old car right now. I think we got our eyes on a '59 Buick. 59 Buick, and I think that's going to be the car that we use. And we're going to use this system on that car, and we're going to show step by step how it's going to look. And I think it's going to be fabulous. It's going to be fabulous. I can't wait. It's going to be very exciting. Okay, let's see. We talked about mobile repair technicians, restoration shops, custom builders. Again, you guys use all steel cars, all steel. And you can be done with these panels in minutes, not hours. Okay. Just a little trade secret there. DIY enthusiasts who want professional looking results. Let me tell you, if you got that car in your shop and you're waiting on that one guy you're calling, and you're on his list, and it's going to be a while. And then when he gets there, I just want you to think about this. You can get professional results with this, and it's on sale right now. Or you can spend $3,000, $4,000, whatever it costs to get that guy to come and do some work to your car in your shop. Well, all I'm saying is this is a really good product. You might want to take a look at it. You might want to take a look at it. Okay. All right. Yeah. Whether you're repairing one panel or working on an entire restoration, having the right uh, having the right, let's see, where am I? Having the right tools makes the job easier. Okay. All right. Okay. Now that we're right at where we need to be right now, and I want to appreciate everybody for joining us right now. Hey, if you caught this on live, that's great. Leave a comment in the comment section. We'll definitely try to answer everybody's questions. And if you have anything that you want to talk about during our next live, leave a comment, and we'll get back around to you. Again, this is a brand new thing. It's going to take some while to get some legs and get it moving. We do have a lot of companies already using the product. We got it out in Hawaii, California, Nevada, um, Canada, New Jersey, Idaho, Indiana. We got it in the Bronx, New York. We got some companies out in Texas, Florida, Georgia. It's making its move around, and yeah, not everybody's going to say it because it's a really good product. It gets to work out really fast, and you're making more, you're getting more out of your time, which is money, and that's where things are. And plus, you're especially if you're a beginner, this will help teach you what proper pressure is. It's great for those particular situations. So, well, I want to thank everyone for your time. And of course, there he is. Never fails. Okay. Well, again, my name is David. I am your host. Check us out at www.forcedgrid.com. Just go down in my bio and click on the link. Check out our website. And we're also on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. But this concludes our forecast for today. We will send this out and hope you all got some insight on what forced grid sanding really is, what the product does, and let's see here, put this back up here. And remember, it's a complete bundle. There's everything there. You get the blocks, you get the pads. Okay, you also get the tinplates. All right, and it's a great starter. All right. Well, hey, you guys have a wonderful day. Have a good evening, and we'll be back. We'll be back soon. We'll talk about it some more. All right. Thanks again, and you all take care. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.